So I realize I've been doing something somewhat taboo. I've been doing it for a long time. I fuck with my socks on.
Yeah. I've had, yeah.
Look at KY's face.
You know what? I never did it until I fucked this chick maybe a year and a half ago, and I just left the black socks on, and it was like, okay, I got the black socks on.
Dude, way more traction.
Definitely more traction.
Unless you're on hardwood floor, then.
And if you're on carpet, you can build up static electricity too. I've never accounted for that.
You can shock them through your cock.
You can shock, cock shock right now. I'm about to cock shock this woman. Yeah.
Is that what the shocker is?
Yeah, it is shocking a woman through your cock. Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
I have heard about that, mainly in high school, but I have heard about it.
Yeah.
And on that note, welcome to the Lesser Known People podcast. I will be presenting this evening. I'm Ryan Big Cat. I am joined today by J Master, J Money, J Man, Justin, who's looking very handsome, who's also in a tank as we sweat through our different locations that we're currently in, and KY Jelly Kyle, who is in his basement wearing a Marmot sweatshirt. And we were just drilling him about sex with his Marmot on, but that's okay. That's okay. Absent today, unfortunately, is Connor, who, as Kyle alluded to on a previous podcast, has probably found other friends. I think that's what this is. He's just progressively going to be more limited on when we see him. And Sean, who disclosed he is going to Death Valley to do drugs. So props to him and his vision quest. Good luck to you. I hope you see the eagle, sir.
Both of those reasons for them being gone make absolute sense.
Yeah, they do. Neither of us were shocked by either of that. Yeah.
Now, I'm not convinced that Connor's not a secret agent somewhere.
That's true. That's also very that's a plausible item.
He's got the body. He's got a great suit body.
Yeah.
Great suit body.
He does a great suit body. Sean is definitely doing drugs, though. That we know for a fact.
He just fucking told us. I'm going to do drugs this weekend. I'm in Death Valley. And then Justin gave him a bunch of food places, and he was set. He was content.
And he was way too excited about the food places, which means he's definitely doing drugs.
Yeah. Lots of drugs.
I don't know if you guys know that Con Man gave us no excuse why he wasn't going to be. He was just like, I'm not going to be there today.
Definitely the secret agent thing.
Yeah, it's just sink or swim, assholes. Walk on.
Or better friends. Better friends. One is named Brian. One is named, Kylie. One is named, play on Justin's name here, whatever we want. Justice,
Could be Dustin.
It could be Dustin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, classic Dustin.
I got to tell you, dude, I fucking hate Dustins. As a Justin, when I meet a Dustin or an Austin, like
I have.
It's like we got to fight now. Like I met one Kyler once, and I was like, I think we fight.
Kyler is also the name of the antagonist in any 80s karate film, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Kyler, you got a big match with him next week. I'm sorry, Kyle-san.
Kyler-san, which it doesn't roll off. I hate it most because as a Kyle, the most often non-Kyle name I get called is Tyler. And Kyler is a perfect mix of both, and it shatters my bones. I understand being a Kyle is a very polarizing thing to begin with. I think
you're already in the hole.
Yeah,
definitely in the hole starting out.
If a Kyler shows up, I have to kill. I have to put this person below the earth. I have to bury them. I have to let them see God's face.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
There's the rules.
Well, you have to make sure Mr. Miyagi knows.
That's right.
That you did honor. Yeah. Anyways, this weekend we are trying the trio. Again, our beautiful Sean is absent. Our beautiful, 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 talented Connor is absent.
Connor got a lot more beautifuls than
he got it. Well, they're both beautiful. They're both beautiful. They are both beautiful. But they're both beautiful and they're both talented.
Yes.
We will miss them. So we're going to try winging this with a fucking trio.
Yeah, this is I would say minimum, this is skeleton crew.
This is a skeleton crew.
This is roll with, and we're going to see how it goes. And if you hate this episode, go fuck yourself. Eat your mama's pussy.
Eat your mama's pussy.
I have previously done an episode that was 5.5 hours long by myself. # release the Big Cat tapes. Okay.
Right.
It's still not coming out. I don't know what's going on there.
We let KY Jelly do all the editing.
If you're listening, you know the conspiracy.
Yeah, that was a quick delete. That was a no problem for me. So
#freedom. #freedom. Anyways.
Send money. Big Cat.
Send money. We'll keep fighting the good fight. Send money. We'll keep fighting the good fight. That's exactly right.
So who we talk about today, Big Cat?
Today, we are talking about a gentleman by the name of David Ritz. He is an American author. He has done a lot of, he's very prolific in his work. He's done numerous autobiographies of various musical artists. He has done liner notes for various artists, including Aretha Franklin. And as of 1984, with a settlement with the Marvin Gaye estate, he is a co-writer on Marvin Gaye's last platinum hit, Sexual Healing.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get
Good.
up, get up, get up, get up. That's the intro. That's the intro to Sexual Healing. We all know it. We all know if we heard that track isolated, we would be terrified. Just someone, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
There's a wet lady and a hard dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or yeah, there's some rape coming on here. Yeah.
It sounds like the beginning of a Tool album.
Yeah. Instantly, yeah. Very much about rape. I'm going to start with David Ritz. Just a brief background on his synopsis, and then we will jump to obviously the bulk of this story, which is a different Marvin Gaye, a Marvin Gaye in his later years. So we'll start with David Ritz, who at the time of this story is a prominent journalist with Rolling Stone. He's kind of in and out. He's a lot of freelance, but he's well established at Rolling Stone. He takes it upon himself that he wants to go and interview and talk to Marvin Gaye. So we will jump to Marvin Gaye at this point. Marvin Gaye, coming off the legs of his 1981 tour of In This Lifetime. That's the title of the album, the tour that he was supporting.
Great tour. Fantastic tour.
Awesome tour. We were all there. He is in exile. He is living in Ostend, Belgium, which is a beach town, North Belgium. He owes 4.5 in back taxes.
No,
so he doesn't want to come to the U.S. So he is in exile. He thought he could stay in London. That was not the case. Ended up going to Belgium. He is there with a couple of other gentlemen. He's there with Odell Brown from his tour, who's a musician, co-writer on this song as well, and William Banks, who kind of serves as a producer. Marvin Gaye has a lot of problems at this time. He has come home to his now home of Ostend, Belgium. He is renting an apartment. He, again, 4.5 in back taxes. He has a raging alcohol and cocaine problem, of which he's trying to situate, which is, you guys could guess. And it's 80s, yeah, it's 80s Marvin Gaye at this point. So basically everyone is like, guy had his big hits in late 60s, early 70s, okay? He has no record label either. He has effectively blown through any album that has been released on any Motown record label. So he doesn't have a record label either. He is just hanging out in Ostend, Belgium. He assumes I'll be able to just kind of get away and maybe I can quit. He does start doing much better. He is able to kick the cocaine habit somewhat and curb the drinking. Those are huge items.
It's the 1980s, man.
It's the 19. Honestly, everyone did a little bit of coke in the 1980s. That's a very good point. A coke addiction in 1980s with an asterisk, which is like everyone's. That's like roids in baseball. Yeah. Everyone's fucking doing it.
Yeah, we were all born in the 80s, and we all came out slightly addicted to cocaine.
Damn, yeah, we're all cocaine babies out here. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know.
That's why I have so much hair above my ass.
Yeah. That's why I came out severely underweight. Okay. So anyways, we'll just keep moving after that one. He's hanging out in Belgium. He's enjoying it. He likes life on the beach. David Ritz, our original character, the author, the journalist at this time for Rolling Stone, has declared he's going to go to Belgium and interview Marvin Gaye, despite the fact that all Marvin Gaye's people were like, no, man, you just need to lay low. You're not talking to press. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's bad for you. You don't want to do that. You can just lay low. We're going to figure out this tax thing, which was never fucking resolved. All of his stuff in the U.S. was foreclosed on. Lost his house, lost his studio, lost cars. Devastated in 1979.
Oh my God.
So David Ritz flies out. He meets Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is now getting back into the habit of, I should probably fucking record something. I should do something. He builds a studio in his apartment that he's renting.
Still Marvin Gaye, though.
He is still Marvin Gaye. That's exactly right. Even Michael Jordan with the Wizards was still fucking Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? And that's who Gaye is, basically. He's just out there like, I can still sing. I can get those panties off with my voice, baby girl.
I can do it. I understand all the sports references that you guys make, so.
Okay, that's good. Michael Jordan was a basketball player.
Now he's Larry Bird's brother, you said?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're brothers.
Blood brothers.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They played for the Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs. Yeah. Now is that the Milwaukee Seahawks? Are they
Definitely.
good with them too?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, and and they had a long rivalry with the Kentucky Steamrollers. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the Milwaukee Seahawks are going to have a great year this year, I bet.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see them pass that ball or puck.
Yeah. Ball or puck. That's true. That's two
They
items.
hit a lot of free throws from that 50-yard line.
They gotta win the team, shoot the goals.
Guys. The thing about baseball is there's no clock. There's no clock. Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
There's no.
It unfortunately goes on forever.
It goes on forever. This podcast will live forever.
It will.
It's emitting somewhere out in the universe. John Teeter in the future. Call back there. Very real John Teeter. Who was my last episode? The very real John Teeter. The very real John Teeter. Yeah. I know I was getting called out when KY was talking about his hand job robot that went across Canada. I was getting called out about John Teeter, and I had to circle back and throw in that fucking dagger. For
the record, we don't need to go all the way into another episode, but for the record, I never said John Teeter didn't exist. I was just happy to point out some of the inconsistencies of the man.
The dramatic inconsistencies that were glaring.
Horrific inconsistencies that almost makes it seem false. But I too would like to believe that there is a time traveling asshole who fixed no problem.
He claims he did stop a civil war and a World War III. But I digress. Let's go back to Marvin Gaye in the 80s.
Almost as effective as Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, almost as effective as Marvin Gaye in the 80s here. David Ritz shows up. He says, I want to meet Marvin Gaye to his people. The people are kind of pushing back, his initial kind of manager and stuff. Marvin Gaye says, man, it'd be cool if I met him. It's cool. Marvin Gaye spends most of his time kind of on the beaches. He's playing a little bit of music. It's when we talk about this, people escaping to really escape imprisonment in Europe is not uncommon. Led Zeppelin's last album, In Through the Outdoor, they recorded in Stockholm, Sweden, under the same circumstances. They wanted to get away from tax evasion in the UK. Obviously, Roman Polanski, who was escaping basically pedophilia charges in the US. He is still living in Europe at this time. I did not know that Europe was actually like a haven you could go to and escape any criminal charges, but apparently it is.
If you have sex with a 13-year-old girl, you can just go to Europe and be fine.
Yeah, and that's Roman Polanski. We just gave you the biography of Roman Polanski. This is an educational podcast. This is an educational podcast.
It's primarily educational. That's what we say up front.
What did Roman Polanski make? Was it Rosemary's Baby?
Rosemary's Baby, yeah.
Yeah, and then
his wife Sharon Tate was killed by Charles Manson.
Well, not by Charles.
Whoa, really?
Well, excuse me, you're right. Not by Charles Manson. Charles Manson's people. Oh yeah. Okay. I guess I got a fact checker on the fucking podcast today. Wow, man.
If you want to say real stuff, just be real. Be factual.
Awesome, dude. Do you got like another beat off robot we can talk about after this? That'd be amazing.
I would say Roman Polanski would be very interested in Hitchbot. Suspiciously interested in Hitchbot.
Suspiciously, well, because he loves to be beaten off by little things. Yeah. Roman Polanski, if you're hearing this, fuck you. I do not apologize. You're a fucking monster, bro. I am terribly sorry about Sharon Tate, though. I know you probably never recovered, and I'm so sorry about that.
It's true. She was pregnant at the time. That's super sad.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
None of this is a slight against Sharon Tate whatsoever.
No. This is purely at Roman Polanski, you fucking monster.
Feel free to dig up your mother's skeleton and eat her pussy. So
yeah, just go eat that pussy. You're a little child man, from what I understand. You're a very petite person. But yeah, from one small man to another small man, go fuck yourself, Roman Polanski. Anyways. Jumping back onto Marvin Gaye. David Ritz meets Marvin Gaye. They start talking about things they're recording. And it's just kind of casual conversations. Marvin invites David back to his apartment. He says, man, you should come on back. It'll be fun. We'll do the full Rolling Stone interview in my apartment. David's like, yeah, absolutely. David shows up to Marvin's apartment. Marvin is occupied. He's handling something else. David kind of just
cocaine. He's doing cocaine in the bathroom.
He's doing He's occupied. Yeah, when I say occupied by other things, it's the nose candy. But Marvin was rich enough. He was not doing it off of a urinal stall. You know what I mean?
No.
He was never a bathroom cocaine guy. I am sure for fact he just had people supplying him.
Yeah, apparently by the longitude he was given by his landlord, he was doing it off of his landlord's dick because he.
Yeah, basically his landlord was like, "You're Marvin Gaye. I have a huge hard-on for your music. Super cool.
This is so cool. Would you like free cocaine with your rent every month, friend?" Like, come on.
You're really good.
Yeah, you can.
It's just
you can do cocaine, sure. Build a studio in here. Absolutely. 3.4 liters of cocaine over here. Yeah. Anyways, Marvin has David. David comes over. It sounds as though David did a little bit of sleuthing into one of the back rooms of the apartment. And he is that fucking guest who is kind of scoping things out on his own.
Was he looking for a bathroom for too long?
Yeah, looking for a bathroom for too long, or just waiting for Marvin to finish fucking rocking his nose right now so he could come out and get going with the interview.
Yeah.
David is shocked to find...
Oh, tell me.
The best part. This is the best part. I've been waiting this whole time for this.
Tell me. My nipples are hard.
Hundreds. Yeah. Oh, it's going to get you so hard, baby. Hundreds of sadomasochistic comic books.
What?
hundreds of these sadomasochistic comic books in one room, in a bedroom, just stacked across the walls, just layering the fucking walls in this place. Okay.
What the fuck is a sadomasochistic comic book?
I would imagine someone has taken the time to basically drawn out pornographic scenes from sadomasochistic sex acts. That's all I can lead into this. I have heard two different variations. Both involve the word comic books. The other one did not disclose the sadomasochistic part, but said, yeah, they were pornographic comic books, which I've never understood. That seems very strange to me. But I guess that's what you did in the 80s was I could look at it and imagine.
I wish Sean was here. Sean, this is something Sean would know about for sure.
Definitely. This is something absolutely Sean would know about.
Yeah. I mean, I assume this is just predating hentai to a point. I know there were Japanese, I'm not saying Japanese specifically, but I'm pretty sure there was Japanese anime that did include sex acts in the 80s. As much as not to the degree that we're seeing on certain documentary websites, that kind of thing. Yeah. Where you can find some of these interesting pieces of art, really, when you think about it. But so this is in place of hentai of the time, but maybe not with an Asian bent necessarily, but enough to get you there. Got to get you there.
Enough, yeah. And if you're Marvin Gaye, you are. The term I'm going to use that I've only heard one time from a manager is you are oversexed. The manager was not saying about me. He was saying about the delivery guy. Long story short. Anyways, the term oversexed, meaning this is a man who's just the sexual energy is through the fucking roof.
God, can we just 1 second and just pivot from Marvin Gaye to whoever the hell this delivery guy is and get his full backstory?
This delivery guy worked for UPS, and I never heard him say a single word. Thank you. We did need this in the story. Yes. I never heard him tell any story or joke that wasn't sexually related. He would even make it, this was prior to Me Too, and so it's still not okay, but definitely was saying it about some of the women that we were working with, like, oh, look at this girl over here. What's going on? I definitely done that over just like, okay, man, you are really touching on some grains here, bro. Okay, we got to – anyways, he would show up usually about halfway through my shift.
This is at a popular bookstore that you may or may not.
This was a popular bookstore, Narns and Boble. Yeah. Narns and Boble. Narns and Boble. I was working in the back in the receiving area. My manager, super duper guy, Tom, if you're listening, love you, man. But he, this UPS guy would show up halfway through our shift. We're kind of exhausted. We're tired halfway through our day. Way too much fucking energy. Shows up and is like, wow, look at you fucking, drops a couple of maybe salacious terms on us. Maybe says, God, I am working rock hard on these particular deliveries. Just says basically whatever the hell he wants. And he's like, when I get home, I know I'm going to pound out my wife 3 or 4 times. Actually talking about these things. Oh, I know this guy. I do not know this man, and he's jumping on this train, okay? So it was one of those things that's like, it's a lot, and you're also abrasive. And Tom was like, he's oversexed. That's the thing. You don't understand the guy, but he is fucking oversexed. I don't even understand him.
So now we fully understand the reference that Marvin Gaye was doing blow, jacking off in a small room to...
You cannot, it's a beach town, so if you got an apartment there, it had to have been pretty small because he's on the water, right? So, you're paying premium.
So Marvin Gaye moves to Belgium, takes over this apartment, and clears out one room just as his masturbatorium.
I think it was actually the bedroom. So whoever he invites back, if let's say you're a lady and it's like, oh my God, it's Marvin Gaye, and you're flirting on the beach, okay, of Ostend, Belgium, and you go back to his place and he's like, let's get it on in the bedroom. That's a Barry White reference. But anyway, he goes back and actually I think that is Marvin Gaye. So he goes back and he takes him to the room and it's like, I got these obviously you're shocked. It's hundreds of these comics.
Was it his bedroom or was it like the second bedroom in the apartment? Do we know?
That I do not know. I do know it was one of the rooms that David just happened upon.
Into, yeah. Wow.
Did some air quotes there. Yeah.
That's his guest bed is that, like, you know, a producer comes out he hasn't seen in a while and he goes, just take the guest bedroom. And he's like, I don't know if you know this, but there are thousands of strange cartoon magazines of.
I gotta talk to you about the sadomasochistic comics you got in there, because I did not find that reading delightful, and it did not work for my stay.
Listen, Marvin, I came over. I noticed that every single wall in this apartment is eggshell white, except for that bedroom. It's got a slightly yellow tint to it.
And it smells a little bit like, what do you call it? Cum. It smells like cum in that room.
It smells like dried cum in that room, and it's all over those pages because I tried
all over those pages. Some of those comics don't open, Marvin. Some of those comics don't open.
The bed sheets flaked off when I moved them.
Yeah. So I slept in the bathtub.
I just because I thought that was a sterile environment. Really.
Let's just also appreciate the fact that, and this is an assumption, but I don't think I'm wrong at all. Probably the only reading material in that home, the only bound books were these fucking porno mags. I'm not a huge reader, but like, dude, dress it up a little bit. Don't just keep your fucking dirty ass cartoon porn magazines everywhere.
Yeah.
80s. Imagine like mopping in there and like reconstituting the jizz.
Definitely. You're just moving the jizz from one location to another. That's all you're doing.
Have you ever mopped a really, God, let's get off on another quick tangent. When I lived in another state in the Northeast, I actually worked as a janitor because working in higher ed, you make no money. So I worked as a janitor at night, and I worked at a soap factory. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is to mop a floor covered in soap. And I can only assume the amount of suds that I saw on a day-to-day basis in some of those rooms were the same amount of suds coming off that cum floor, because it's kind of just
there's one parallel I want to make here. Soap is absolutely the cum of the hygiene world. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. I think that's just common knowledge, quite frankly.
Wow. Okay. So he
primarily educational.
Stumbles in.
Yeah, primarily educational. This podcast. Yeah.
Primarily educational. So he stumbles in the cum room. What happens?
He stumbles, in the as Justin so eloquently put, the masturbatorium. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was too good. We got to call it back because it was so good.
Thank you.
And David confronts Marvin. He's like, Marvin. So Marvin is like, yeah, man, let's jive. Let's have this interview. And he's like, before we get going with the interview, I wanted to talk to you about the room full of sadomasochistic comic books that are in the other room there. And he goes, oh yeah, that's just, that's Marvin's trying to blow it off. Okay. Marvin is a man, from what I gathered, specifically at this time, wasn't necessarily into kind of having conversations about really his demons. He wasn't necessarily talking to that many people about the cocaine or the drinking. He had just kind of basically manned up to the fact that he had those addictions. So he goes, what do you mean? What's wrong? Sort of thing. It's just like, oh, it's just, I just have them. I collect them. It's, that sort of thing. And so David goes, I think you need sexual healing. And this is where, this is where I have to divert, because there's several stories that happen at this one time. I'm going to give you the David Ritz account, which is, he has now seen this, and he is talking about the term sexual healing and what occurred after that. I will also go back and give the brief stories of what Odell Brown and William Banks said about this particular setup. Anyways, so David Ritz says, I think you need a sexual healing. And he tries to explain, when I say sexual, Marvin, I guess, is just infatuated with this term sexual healing. Sexual healing. A sexual healing. A sexual healing.
The thing is, you can see Marvin Gaye just repeating it, and David Ritz getting like uncomfortable with how he's just,
he's enamored with this term sexual healing.
It's like, no,
get up.
Whispering to his penis.
Whispering to his penis.
He was like, no, don't do that now. Don't do that now. I'm here still. I'm in the room still.
I'm still in the room. Let me clear the blast space. I got to get out of the zone here. Okay. Let me get out of here. I'm still in the blast zone. Okay.
I'm gonna give you 60 yards. I'm going to give you 60 yards. That's
So David has to basically circle him back and go, no, I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, you may have a real problem with the number of sadomasochistic comic books that you have in your room and just this absolute affinity you have with a sexual addiction. Again, harken back to being oversexed.
Right.
We
UPS guy oversexed. That's a level.
UPS guy oversexed. That's all you're going to get out of that. Okay. That's all you're going to get out of that. Marvin Gaye apparently also suffered from quote unquote oversexed. It's called sexual addiction. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Right. But so Marvin, instead of like trying to have a real conversation about it, goes, David, you want to talk about it so much? Write me a poem. Write me a poem about what you're talking about.
That's a weird thing.
David is absolutely, it's super strange. David is taken aback. David goes, okay.
Rightfully so. Rightfully
David,
so. Taken aback.
Apparently, they actually just conduct the full interview as though this whole exchange did not happen. David leaves. He's there for a couple days. Apparently, pens a poem. Comes back. Marvin, and that's interview for the first day. I guess while he's there, he's interviewing him over a course of days. Comes back and hands him the poem. And this is where Marvin basically takes most of the poem and goes, wow, this is beautiful, and uses these as the lyrics to Sexual Healing.
Okay.
David Ritz actually wrote Sexual Healing.
That's exactly right. This is the David Ritz claim. David Ritz claims on the recordings he had with Marvin Gaye that Marvin Gaye over numerous exchanges said, the lyrics you wrote are so beautiful. The lyrics you wrote are beautiful. I want to keep the lyrics you wrote. Here's the thing. It's again, Marvin only asked him to write a poem, okay? And he goes and tries to formulate whatever. Anyone asks you to write a poem, you would go home and go, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to write, but let's try something.
Yeah, I would do what I always do when people ask me to do something, which is to ghost them, and hopefully they forget that they asked me to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Forget they exist. Yeah. So David's story, his again, evidence is that these particular tapes show, disclaimer, that he is the one who actually penned the lyrics, the majority of the lyrics, to maybe changing a few things around, to Sexual Healing. Again, Odell Brown, who is a musician that was on Marvin's last tour, and the gentleman, William Banks, is also there. They discredit that. They said, other than the title, I don't really think he wrote anything, because it was just kind of us in the recording booth. We put some stuff together, and then Marvin just went in there. And I guess it was Marvin, for lack of a better term, Marvin being Marvin, where when he went into the booth, sometimes he had great lyrics, like he had certainly with his stuff in the 60s, but it was one of those things where he was just trying to be another one of Kyle and my favorite words, just visceral on it, baby. I'm gonna be visceral on this mic. I'm gonna be so sexual and visceral on this mic. Just lays down whatever the fuck he's thinking, right?
Bring it up from the soul, baby. Let the soul come out.
So those are the accounts against David Ritz. Obviously, this is penned, it is recorded, it is released. It is a massive hit for Marvin Gaye. It is his last platinum hit. It comes off of Midnight Love, and it effectively does exactly what Marvin Gaye set out to do, which was relaunch his career.
Right.
David Ritz launches a lawsuit because when it comes out, he is not in the liner notes. He is not credited with anything on the writing.
Can I ask one clarifying question?
Yeah.
So David Ritz is saying, I understand that he wrote the poem and Marvin wanted to keep the poem.
Allegedly wrote the poem, yeah.
Yeah. What was the evidence that David had that Marvin did say that he was crediting him with at least writing the poem? Didn't you say it was in the interview, or it was taped, or
it was in the interviews on the tapes? Yeah, because I guess
so it was on like a recorded at that.
Yeah,
time.
David was recording the interviews, so I don't know how common this was, or how common this is, where you record your interview just so you can harken back and kind of hear what was going on. But that's the basis. That was the main basis for, because the poem that was written down was never found.
Okay. Okay.
But on these particular interview tapes, David alleges that Marvin said on numerous occasions, "You wrote a beautiful poem. These lyrics are so beautiful."
These are okay.
And so that is David's principal premise as to how these particular lyrics came about and how obviously the title came about.
Right. And
so,
he should get the writing credits on the song.
Gotcha. Yeah, he should get the writing credits. And I guess in this case, which is strange enough, you would think if Odell Brown is even willing to say he gave him the title, that there would be some credit there. It could be a very minimal thing. Yeah. But I guess he wasn't originally credited. Anyways, so David launches this full lawsuit against Marvin and his estate. It is thrown out, meaning there is insufficient evidence,
Wow.
or in this case, insufficient evidence. And the entire court proceedings, they said, there's nothing we can do here. After Marvin's death, so this would have been 1984 when Marvin is tragically killed by his father in a fight at their home where he's shot twice.
Okay, so I actually almost said that before because I couldn't remember whether that was him or another soul artist from back in the day, but I was pretty sure that was him.
Yeah, he was killed. He was killed.
Yeah,
Al Green is the one who's still alive, but Al Green's wife is the one that heated up a bunch of water, threw it on him, burned his, and then she went and killed herself in the shower or something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's tragic stories here.
Yeah, when you just put out nothing but love out there, people they find
Apparently
it.
people Marvin Gaye had a long history of, and we won't go into it too much, but he had a very long history of mental illness, and then he obviously had his own personal addictions too.
I thought that him and his father had that thing in common where I don't want to put domestic violence out there, but there was like something about slapping. Either his father constantly abused him, and then he then abused
his father was abusive growing up. Yeah, that's
yeah.
regularly stated. And then Marvin actually attempted suicide like twice as a kid or something.
Yeah, I know that, but like his dad wasn't like, oh, I just spank him sometimes. Like he was,
and his dad was a fucking nightmare
monster.
person.
Yeah,
was a fucking monster. And his dad, I guess, the long story short, the murder charges were actually dropped against the dad, or the sentence was reduced to 6 years because they found the dad had a brain tumor. So Marvin Gaye Sr. was out within 6 years of his sentence. Anyways, that all happens. The Marvin Gaye estate in 1984 then decides they will credit David Ritz as a co-writer on the song. So after the whole lawsuit and proceedings happen, David Ritz is now credited. If you look at any actual liner notes on a song, David Ritz is there for Sexual Healing.
I find it kind of weird because it seems like in the context, and maybe it's just the way you presented it, that David Ritz told Marvin Gaye that he needed sexual healing because he was concerned about his sexual appetite. But the lyrics to that song
are anything but.
It's like, we fucking tonight, and we're gonna heal ourselves through me fucking you. Yeah, exactly.
Get him. Yeah, exactly. No, the lyrics are at most it's a prolific love song that we all know. If your parents listened to soft yacht rock growing up, it is also kind of a little bit rapey in its own right, but
a little bit. It's a little rapey.
A dab, undertones of rapey. I can taste the love, but there's a hint of rape. If you were to describe it as a wine, that's how I would describe it. Anyways, David Ritz is now a full credited author on this particular song and splits actual royalties with the other two significant individuals, which were Odell Brown and Marvin Gaye as the writers.
So we don't know what the precipitating event was for them to post-mortem award him this writing credit.
No, the estate just eventually decided we will award David the full credit.
That means that there is, I'm not saying that they found the poem and it was so obvious, but it must have shook them enough to obviously continue on, because there are a lot of, I don't want to say false claims against celebrities and things, but there are people who do kind of the money grab thing. And then there are very real accusations. I'm just going to say Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That we need to hold people accountable for. Something like writing, thank God, is not as awful as a lot of the other stuff, but it's so interesting that he did the lawsuit, they toss it out, and then
the actual jury. So that to me is, I think Marvin had a really good, definitely with the new label he was on with CBS Records, which is a fucking massive label at that time. They could afford to have every defense put into place. David was on his own, hiring out his own attorney. Right. So I think it was a scenario of that setup. Plus, David didn't have the poem on hand. The only thing he was alleging was, I had these tapes, which I couldn't even find record that he brought tapes as evidence in the original trial.
So I have a theory, and this might be a little bit like conspiracy theory. I know, like in my previous line of work, we would keep things secret until the thing that gave us that information was gone off the earth, and off the earth for a while. So I wonder if David Ritz had come across some piece of information that Marvin Gaye had or had conducted, and maybe it implicated Odell Brown somehow. And once Marvin Gaye died, to prevent David from releasing it. They were just like, you know what? Let's come to an agreement. We will cut you royalties if you just keep this one thing. If that just goes away.
Yeah.
You mean like some sort of like incredibly damaging.
Yeah.
And something that had more teeth of.
Yeah, definitely something. Yeah, it had to be something probably more, like you said, just more damning to come out. Something more salacious with a lot more footing than anything he had previously owned up to or proposed as evidence.
You did have the masturbatorium. Now, this is all conjecture. This is all just like, we have no idea if that actually happened.
Spitballing, but still, like that's a fair point. That like, why would the estate offer that up? You know, again, post-mortem, especially with the other people with Odell and
Odell was the other big one. There was a gentleman by, I believe it was William Banks. I know the last name was Banks.
Yeah.
But
So you know, if they still had something to lose, which it seems like they did, you know, they are, for I think our knowledge, still living,
because they were just regular studio and touring musicians. They were just on Marvin's last tour, and they decided, yeah, we'll, you know, hang out here in Belgium with you for a bit.
So if he found whatever to then kind of implicate them, and Marvin Gaye, like, you know, again, I hate to throw out something that isn't true, but you know, something so bad, which honestly is usually sexual or murdery. Yeah. One of those things with a good bit of evidence, especially against, you know, Marvin's resurgent career.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They didn't, I'm assuming it didn't look okay. Writing, that's very true with his resurgent career, definitely. But also, it's, I know it's cynical to say this, but a death of a major celebrity, you do put into background basically anything bad that they did, because you're remembering them for who they were. And Marvin Gaye, we know he released, I mean, what's going on is in the Pantheon, it's canonical top 100 albums of all time when you talk about it. So, but I would assume everyone, certainly as his death in such a tragic manner in 84, it is a lot of the kind of good vibes coming off of that, where they forgot, you know, you're only remembering the really brilliant things this individual did. You're not remembering the other. He died, and it was like a man of, you know, who released all this prolific work, but also had horrible addictions and was a fucking, you know, massive sex pervert in his own personal life.
Right.
Doesn't bode as well. Yeah.
No, and like, you know, everyone is keen to forget the tax evasion in Belgium and you know, avoiding this and that, and it's
losing all of his assets essentially here in stateside. Yeah,
right.
I mean,
you know, nearly going broke, and then having this revelation is all very, you know, it's all very convenient to forget on the heels of a very tragic death. And I think, I don't know, I mean, we're not here to solve the world's problems, but that's human nature to me. Is people are typically held that way, especially celebrity status.
Definitely. Well, okay, so case in point, guys, while we were growing up, 2001, with the Kobe Bryant trial of rape, right? Yeah. He is acquitted, obviously, and they found it to be consensual sex, but, you know, that plagued him for years. And then when he tragically passed this year, he was put on a kind of pedestal where everyone were certainly saying the best things possible. And I'm not knocking anyone for doing that, because that is what happens when a celebrity passes. They're remembering him for being this ferocious athlete with, you know, all these accomplishments he had. Yeah, I think it was a scenario in that case where he passes, he has this resurgence, the court throws it out, and then the family ultimately, to David Ritz's case of you guys kind of alluding to, perhaps some blackmail where he eventually had some real dirt on the Gaye estate, meaning it's solid proof that, hey, I co-wrote this, so I have to be on the liner notes now. I think that holds testament.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's really incredible. I honestly never would have thought anything about it. If I even would have looked at the writing credits for it, I'd been like, well, he's probably just, again,
another musician. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Helping out on the album. I'm sure he's credited on other big songs. Like, I don't know this guy from Adam, from anybody. So
yeah, exactly. And the whole thing is you would have just assumed nothing of it, because he's a fucking journalist who was just over there trying to warn him, like, you have a real fucking problem, dude. And it's not the cocaine. It's the thousands of fucking dick smacking that's going on in these comics, bro. You need to get this fucking sorted out.
Yeah. And then Marvin Gaye, oddly enough, again, given David's side of the story, tells him to write a poem about this turn of phrase he used.
That to me is almost even stranger. We all know that Gaye was eccentric in his own right for certain things, but to just go and tell someone, oh, you think I got a problem? Go write a poem about it.
Write a poem.
Like, that's Yeah, that is honestly, anytime I'm ever criticized about something, I want to bring that up as a way to basically tell someone to go fuck off. Oh, you have a problem with the way I'm doing these fucking tests over here? Go write a poem about it.
You don't like my fucking podcast? Go write a poem about it so I can make fun of you on the internet.
Exactly.
It sounds like a weird insult or beef that someone would throw up in like West Side Story, like a contrived high school level like play or musical. Go write a poem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
go
practice your exercise for free speech.
I feel like that's like a
hipster, bro.
That's like a hipster thing, a hipster threat.
It is a hipster threat. It's basically saying go, let them eat cake, but you're telling them, oh, go write a poem about it.
Yeah. You don't like my microbrew in my mustache? Go write a poem about it.
There was no context as to how and this is truly I'll use the reference of reading Shakespeare here. There was no context as to how this was stated. Was it sarcastic where he was basically, Marvin was telling him to go piss off? Or was Marvin like, write a poem about it? Let me.
And I think with musicians, especially at that level, right? Like he is a superstar, at minimum a star. Even if it's a fading star, he's still a star. He's a household name.
80s, you're living good, baby. You're on the beach.
He's still a household name to nearly everyone on the planet. You got to assume that this guy is eccentric as fuck. And it's just like, you know what? Hey, go write a poem about it. I love that kind of phrase. Go write a poem about it.
Yeah.
We're imposing all of this in suppositions, this and that. But it's like, if that story is to be believed, you would believe it about someone as eccentric and successful as Marvin Gaye was at the time.
I mean, I guess, when we, to me, it does, some of the lyrics could cut both ways. When I get this feeling, I need a sexual healing. Meaning, are you actually saying when I have this fucking demon that comes out where I have a hard-on for fucking raging hours, I'm oversexed, and I have to beat off to these fucking sadomasochistic comics, that I have a problem and I need to address it?
Yeah.
I get this feeling, right? And I need a sexual healing. So I guess some of it, again, is how it's interpreted. And Marvin must have read the poem and been like, this is so fucking beautiful. This is exactly what sex is. Damn. I'm going to put this, wake up. Get up. But so I guess to that sake, there are certain portions of the lyrics that could be interpreted both ways. Because if it's like, when I get this feeling, I need a sexual healing. I am broken. I'm a broken person. I have a severe
It's like you turn it. Is it outward or is it inward? Is it outward?
Yeah, exactly. Instantly, you're taken to fucking shame with Michael Fassbender walking around with his dick out, fucking everyone on the planet. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's a severe sex addiction.
Shame.
Yeah. Did you guys see that one?
No, you told me to, and I was like, man, that's intense.
It's a deep dive. You got to go on a deep dive on that one.
It's a movie you got to watch. Ready to be sad.
Ready to be terribly sad. Yes.
Yeah, I don't like to pay money to make myself feel like shit.
That's why we watch documentaries.
We do watch a lot of documentaries. That is true. With the plumber coming in, all those. Love those documentaries. Those are my favorite.
A lot of incestuous documentaries on the internet.
And we've definitely talked about it before, but we've got to reel that back as a society. I think
it's bad.
And as we have said on this podcast, I think we've touched bottom with that category of porn, and we should.
And we got to start swimming back up. Find other things that you're sexually attracted to.
I don't even think that's the bottom. Like when we're talking about like shit that's on Pornhub documentaries, that's not the bottom.
Here's what I want to know: would any of this have been exhibited if the internet was a thing at that time, and Marvin Gaye had access to a great documentary source like a Pornhub or an X video?
Like, Marvin Gaye would have never have written the beautiful music he wrote if he had access to the amount of fucking pornography that we have access to.
Yeah, that's exactly. Honestly, it would have distracted him from being beautiful. Yeah. I think that's true.
We have legions. We have an unviewable amount of pornography out there. The majority of it is actually free, which is even scarier at this point.
And honestly, it's a great thing. It is the great unknown. That's how I always look at pornography.
If there is someone born post 2000s listening to this, firstly, I hate you, and almost also, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Why are you listening to this? Go play fucking video games, asshole. This is podcast. This is what you do in your 30s.
I will say, and your fathers and all this are real when they say this. Porn wasn't always free. So
porn wasn't always free.
There was a paywall. You had to download it. This was our time, right? This is the millennial timeline of it wasn't always free. We had to download it. We had to pirate it, and it was scary. And you could download something real bad on your computer.
And it was generational. Your uncle hands you a couple Hustlers.
Yeah.
Just go at it, kid.
Yeah, you didn't like just turn your fucking phone on and find porn. It's like you had to fucking graph.
Honestly, now that it's on your phone, it's like you kids are fucking lazy as fuck. You don't even fucking understand.
You have any idea how, like, what kind of shit I had to crawl through to get porn when I was 13 years old? You know, any time what kind of back alley drug deals I was doing to get porn when I was 13 years old? This is bullshit. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. I specifically remember a time when J Money and myself, a couple of young entrepreneurs, were absolutely going through people's garbage looking for porn. That's where we're at.
I didn't want to bring this up. They hit my mind. I remember this. Yeah. We found some too. We definitely found some. Okay, so Ryan, super beautiful episode. This is what I took away from it. Marvin Gaye made so much money and didn't pay any fucking taxes, and he had to run to Belgium of all places to survive. He winds up.
Which you would go? It's beautiful there.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So Marvin Gaye winds up in I imagine, some tiny little European apartment. And Europe does things super small. So here's big old Marvin Gaye with his entourage living in this tiny little apartment. Some guy named David shows up and from Rolling Stone and wants to do an interview. David is putzing around Marvin Gaye's apartment, runs into this masturbatorium, which is full of hundreds and hundreds of sadomasochistic comic books, which I don't think there's comedy there. But David confronts Marvin Gaye about his apparent sexual addiction. And David says, "Hey, man, you need some sexual healing." And this strikes a big nerve in Marvin Gaye's mind. It's for some bizarre fucking reason, he tells David to go write a poem about it. David claims that he does, and later on claims that he is the inspiration and one of the co-authors of Sexual Healing, mega hit in the 1980s. Marvin Gaye ends up dying. We're not really sure what happens with litigation or what kind of blackmail goes on, but shortly after Marvin Gaye's death, the estate decides to give David the credits to writing that song anyways.
God, that's a masterful summation. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Another very tight, beautiful summation. If I could add one thought, not the detail, because that summation was fucking perfect. One thought is, let's just take a second and give it up to the authors, writers, illustrators of these thousands of
comics. Yeah. I didn't know that was a profession. And honestly, as a kid who drew many penises and vaginas and boobs, I should have really pursued this as a profession.
You should have kept
going. You know what I mean? Exactly. This is the preferred choice of Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean? So it was a medium that was consumed.
Yeah, I think so. And this guy, so you got to imagine, I always think about this. It's like, think about time and place. You can't, God, I sound like such an old fucker on this episode, but you can't crack open a laptop and do like some Illustrator or anything like that shit, right? Like, this is drawn by hand. It's inked by hand. Yes, they make copies.
Exactly. It was of the time you are sketching it out. Right. Someone doing this by hand. True crap.
It's the same league as Stan Lee and all this other shit, where they're inking it out by hand. They got writers who are doing the development and all this other shit. It is dicks. It is sadomasochistic.
It is a beautiful art form. If you are drawing basically a dildo going into a man, okay, you're doing sadomasochistic comics. You're a true illustrator. You're a true fucking illustrator. Okay, right. This woman is here with a strap on and a whip, and she is fucking destroying this guy. What a fucking illustrator. You're just a fucking talent.
That's how you do art.
Yeah.
Art is dildos and asses.
And really, that's exactly right. And one of the things I want everyone to come away with from this episode is, don't give up on your fucking dreams.
Don't give up on your dreams, even if it's dildos and asses.
Yeah, we're absolutely ending on dildos and asses for sure.